President Trump hosted the president of Argentina at the White House yesterday. And for the sixth time this year, U.S. forces have destroyed another boat off the waters of the coast of Venezuela. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. President Trump is strongly backing Argentina's president, who came to visit him yesterday at the White House. NPR's Giles Snyder says Trump is taking an unusual move.
President Trump is holding U.S. aid over the heads of Argentinian voters. During a White House meeting with President Javier Milei, Trump warned them not to abandon Milei. Milei is not on the ballot, but this month's election for seats in the National Congress is seen as a referendum on his policies. Milei was at the White House after the Trump administration provided his country with a $20 billion financial lifeline.
NPR's Giles Snyder reporting. The Gaza ceasefire is being tested. Hamas has returned 8 bodies to Israel. The Israeli military says today that testing on one of those bodies shows that it was not that of a hostage. Israel is now closing one crossing into Gaza that will limit how much relief aid can reach Palestinians. NPR's Daniel Estrin says more issues have developed with the ceasefire.
It's being tested greatly. There have been reports of Israeli fire yesterday, killing at least 6 people. Fire as well today. Israel said yesterday it was firing on militants trying to cross out of the ceasefire zone. But we're also seeing this power battle with Hamas fighting in the streets, shooting up rival clans in this battle for power.
NPR's Daniel Estrin reporting from Tel Aviv. For the 6th time this year, U.S. forces have destroyed a boat in waters off of Venezuela. President Trump is saying the people aboard the vessel were criminals, but he did not offer evidence of this. NPR's Quill Lawrence has more.
President Trump posted on social media that U.S. intelligence confirmed a small vessel in international waters off the Venezuelan coast was carrying drugs. A dark video released with the post shows a boat hit with a flash from above and then burning. Trump said 6 men aboard were killed. He called them narco-terrorists. The White House maintains it's at war with Venezuelan drug traffickers and may kill them in strikes like this because they are unlawful enemy combatants. Critics in Congress say the president cannot declare wars without their consent, and that in this case the president is asserting a right to kill anyone he declares an enemy with no due process of law. Quill Lawrence, NPR News.
The federal government shutdown is more than 2 weeks old. The Senate failed again last night to agree on a new spending bill that could have ended it. President Trump has been firing federal workers during the shutdown. A federal judge holds a hearing today in California on a lawsuit challenging Trump's actions. Meanwhile, the Department of Housing and Urban Development has gutted some fair housing offices across the country. NPR's Jennifer Ludden reports more than 300 HUD employees have been laid off.
A HUD spokesperson says the layoffs are to align programs with the Trump administration's priorities. The agency did not provide specifics, but a union tally finds nearly a third of those cut are people who investigate allegations of housing discrimination. HUD union steward Paul Osadebe says they do labor-intensive work that requires expertise.
Looking through documents, interviewing people, sometimes going out to visit properties.
And without that, it's not possible to enforce the fair housing laws Congress has passed. He says the layoffs appear to gut some entire offices. They come on top of previous major cuts to HUD's fair housing staff, including an attempt to fire Osadebe. Jennifer Ludden, NPR News, Washington.
The federal government was supposed to announce today what next year's cost of living adjustment will be for people who receive Social Security benefits. That announcement was delayed because of the government shutdown. The announcement has now been moved to the end of next week on Friday, October 24th. This comes as a report from the Social Security and Medicare trustees earlier this summer warned of a coming shortfall in the next decade. The Trump administration says it has revoked the visas of 6 foreign citizens. NPR's Giles Snyder says it's over social media comments about last month's killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
The State Department announced the revocations as President Trump was posthumously awarding Kirk the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The visas were revoked from people from Argentina, Brazil, Germany, Mexico, Paraguay, and South Africa. And the State Department says it's continuing efforts to identify visa holders who it says celebrated Kirk's assassination.
NPR's Giles Snyder reporting. Los Angeles County has declared a state of emergency in response to the ongoing federal immigration raids. County supervisors say this is the first time they've taken this action against immigration operations. From member station LAist, Destiny Torres has more.
LA County is home to some 950,000 immigrants without legal status. Supervisors say immigration raids have destabilized neighborhoods and created a climate of fear. Local state of emergencies are typically designated after natural disasters like flooding, earthquakes, and fires, as well as crises like homelessness. The declaration allows the county to seek financial aid from the state, expedite contracting, and possibly consider an eviction moratorium. Some business advocates were concerned about the move, saying a moratorium could destabilize housing if passed as a result. The declaration remains in place until the board moves to end it. For NPR News, I'm Destiny Torres in Los Angeles.
The U.S. Supreme Court hears arguments today in a case that challenges the last major provision of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. This provision makes sure that minority voters don't get shut out when new congressional districts are being drawn up. NPR's Nina Totenberg has more.
When the law was passed in 1965, there were just 12 minority House members. Today, there are 134 Black, Hispanic, and Asian American House members. That could change, however, if the court removes the guardrails to redistricting that it endorsed as recently as 2 years ago. Indeed, if the conservative court majority either nullifies the redistricting provision of the law or makes it much more difficult to enforce, Democrats could lose as many as 19 congressional seats, putting control of the House effectively out of reach for the foreseeable future. Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
You're listening to NPR.